it looked so good on you.
Isn't it a great one? Really love it.
I stole the look.
That's good. You
stole
should,
the look.
and I'm glad you did.
We are the Real Kipper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, and Sportsnet Plus. Derek Brandeo, Jake the Snake Schultz, our buddy Sammy McKee, Justin Bourne with you for the next hour. In a couple of minutes, we'll welcome in Doug McLean for a little bit more of Off the Rails Friday. We will talk about the Edmonton Oilers closing out their conference final versus the Dallas Stars. Really didn't look at all, JB, like Dallas had any interest out of the gate here to extend this series. And a lot of storylines, including the one that many people are talking about today, Jake Ottinger getting pulled. 2 goals on 2 shots, calls the timeout, looks like he's heading back to the net, and Peter DeBoer gives him the ultimate Mike Keenan hook.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I got to tell you, though, everyone's, making a big deal out of it, and a lot of the big deal was in the way it happened, right? He was going back in the net, so it wasn't very well communicated to him. But, hey, their back was against the wall. They couldn't lose this game. If a guy shows that he's not ready to go in the opening couple of minutes, maybe you don't play him as much. That has to include your goalie, is it not?
You know what? I am
What's wrong with
1,000% with you on this.
We all agree.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to come in here.
2-on-2.
Hey,
Seen enough.
didn't have a good start. You weren't good enough. And the one thing that people, they should really think about big picture is he is one of 19 other guys that did not show up to play here. To hang this completely on Jake Ottinger, on getting pulled or not pulled, is just wrong. At the end of the day, and this includes Jake Ottinger, and it's not any different than what we deal with on a daily basis with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's like, you want to just pin this on Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner or just 1 or 2 more individuals on. No, the team wasn't good enough to beat the Edmonton Oilers last night. The team was not good enough.
No, and hey, Casey DeSmith was a .915 save percentage this year and almost 30 starts. He was a great goaltender, so he didn't exactly go to a bum. I do think it was made 10 times worse by DeBoer after the game, not just being like, hey, look, and explaining where. Do we have DeBoer's comments? Is it too early in the show to play DeBoer talking about Ottinger?
No.
Okay.
I think it's in there, Derek. You could play that.
Eu azul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vamos ver aqui.
Oh.
What language was that?
Hold on, let's start over. Let's start the clip over.
And you know what? I didn't take that lightly, and I didn't blame it all on Jake. But the reality is, if you go back to last year's playoffs, he's lost 6 to 7 games to Edmonton, and we gave up 2 shots on 2 goals in an elimination game. So, it was partly to spark our team and wake them up, and partly, knowing that, status quo had not been working, and that's a pretty big sample size.
He's like, yeah, he's lost 6 to 7 to the Oilers. By the way, these 2 teams may play each other next year in the playoffs, and the head coach just said, our guy can't beat him. The guy we gave an 8-year deal, we don't think he's good enough to beat Edmonton. So I didn't hate pulling him after 2 goals, but you just say...
Too much detail.
Too much detail.
Back the truck up.
Just be like...
You backed it up over top.
He could have come out and been like, look, didn't think he was ready. Always needed a spark. Back against the wall. We were desperate.
Yeah.
Jake's a great goalie. We would have loved it. He just didn't have a great start for us that game.
I mean, I think there's a lot of talk about Edmonton Oilers last night. Just completely undeniable.
They were undeniable. Great word.
The start of that first period, just like Simmer was talking about it. One team was jumping, and one team was just waiting for bad things to happen. They were all over. It was just a unbelievable start. Dallas does have their push. They come back a little bit in that game, but then Connor does otherworldly things in the breakaway. But you can talk about as much as you want about Dallas, pulling the goalie, whatever. Last night was just about the Oilers being way better and on a mission.
They beat 3 good teams, like nothing.
Yeah, really good teams. they're on a mission.
Just to go back to before we get to Doug McLean, and I'll throw this. I think he's listening right now, Doug. But for Peter DeBoer to make those comments, those additional comments about my guy can't beat this team, you almost wonder if he kind of had an idea of whether or not he'd be back, or if he is back, would he have a feeling of Jake Ottinger being back?
He's
because
like, I don't think we're both coming back.
yeah, exactly. I know one of us has got to go here. So it'll be interesting. All right, as a reminder, this hour of Real Kipper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365 as we welcome in Doug McLean on a Friday, former NHL president, GM, head coach, author, blah, blah, blah.
Do you guys think my schedule revolves around the times you do these shows?
Well, listen,
I get a call today. I'm on at 4 o'clock. I get a call today at noon. Can I do 4 o'clock? Like, seriously. But anyway.
I know there's a few people.
I know, but listen, I have to get something off my plate.
Oh,
It's
no.
very important. I don't, and I'll do DeBoer after. But listen, I don't get a lot of celebrity events like you guys do, but I was a celebrity at an event this week with the Mount Allison Mounties hockey team had me as their guest celebrity at their golf tournament. Okay, it's a famous maritime university, great hockey program. You
Slim
may know a
pickings
guy
for
by the
them.
name of Scott McCain. He's the chairman of McCain Foods. Well, he didn't make the team. He got cut, but he still goes to the hockey parties. You know? He owns the St. John. He did play senior hockey after in Florenceville because McCain's owned the team and he didn't have to make that team. But anyway, he's a great guy and he owns the St. John Sea Dogs. But I had a great event with the guys. Best ball. I hit the ball great. They were terrific guys. Jack Drover was the famous coach of Mount Allison. As I said to Jack, you're the only guy I know that missed the playoffs 11 years in a row, and you got promoted to be the athletic director. So anyway, it was a fun day, fun event. I just wanted to do a call out because they are all avid listeners of the Doug McLean 30-minute weeks of this show.
Okay, listen.
I
I don't know if Sam told you, but our show's just down to an hour, and you just killed 50 minutes of it. Okay, so let's
Listen, feel free to knock me out of the box anytime.
No. We're not that desperate. Okay. I don't know whether you want to just start with the series in general, or get to the Peter DeBoer Ottinger exchange, or lack of one. I don't know what you want to call it or describe it, but where do you want to go with this series?
I'm blown away with Edmonton after Game 2 of the LA series as to how well they played, and you know they've been that good